Studies say that about 1 in 10 adults over 65 will develop dementia. But honestly, who wants to wait that long to finally be able to relate to Rihanna and Drake's "What's my name?" We're speedrunning this, baby. So let's talk about the strategies that'll have you asking this to your own family members in record time. Level 1. Be sleep deprived. Imagine this, it's 1 AM. You have just discovered a 4-episode Netflix documentary on Jeffrey Epstein, and you have to wake up at 7 AM. Do you go to sleep? Of course not. This is prime time for dementia speedrunning. If you're serious about speedrunning dementia, sleep deprivation is where you start. Studies show that consistently sleeping less than 5 hours a night can increase your risk of developing dementia. Here's the deal. When you sleep, your brain runs this thing called the glymphatic system. Basically a cleanup crew that clears out toxic proteins and waste. You know, the kind of stuff linked to dementia. But when you don't sleep, that trash just piles up. It's like never taking the garbage out, except the trash is in your brain. And the janitors only work the night shift. And it doesn't stop there. Chronic sleep deprivation messes with your circadian rhythm. It increases inflammation and wrecks memory consolidation. It's a triple homicide. Pro tip, make sure you're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram right before bed. That blue light hitting your eyes? Chef's kiss, mwah. It suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's sleepy time. So your brain thinks it's noon and you stay up even longer. So yeah, keep scrolling at 4 AM watching those would you rather videos. Play Roblox all night with kids half your age. Crack open a Red Bull right as you're supposed to sleep. Work the night shift. Basically do whatever it takes to absolutely sabotage your sleep cycle. At this rate, you'll probably start seeing that white rabbit with the clock sooner than expected. And if you really want to optimize this, combine it with our next one. Level 2. Digital dementia. Alright, your alarm just went off. Do you get up? Absolutely not. Your first step is to grab your phone while you're still in bed. Emails, X, Instagram, Discord, Reddit, hell, even Facebook. All before your brain has processed that you are alive. Like, did you know the average American spends over 7 hours a day on screens? Honestly, those are exactly the kind of rookie numbers we're trying to beat here. Excessive screen time, especially 5+ hours a day, has been linked to thinning of the cerebral cortex, aka the part of your brain responsible for memory, decision making, and generally functioning like a human. So obviously we want more screen time, not less. It's gotten so bad that people have come up with the term virtual autism, basically describing temporary autism-like symptoms in kids caused by excessive screen exposure and lack of social interaction. And yes, that's exactly the direction we're aiming for. Now the real strategy is how you use screens. Don't do anything productive. No learning new skills. No educational content. No Duolingo streaks. That owl is holding you back. Just bed rotting and maximum brain rot consumption. Reddit rabbit hole at 2 AM about conspiracy theories? Perfect. Binge watching an entire season of a reality show you don't even like? Elite. Refreshing Twitter every 30 seconds to see if anyone quote tweeted you or if Elon changed the algorithm again. Even better. And obviously, use ChatGPT as your therapist. Ask Grok the dumbest questions imaginable. Listen to the dumbest TikTok remixes on loop. Become an iPad kid. Stay chronically online. Real gamers browse Instagram at full brightness at 3 AM. GG. Level 3. Social isolation. By now, you've probably been surviving on 2 hours of sleep every single day with 10 hours of screen time. Your eye bags have eye bags. You're on a roll. Here's the next step. Isolate yourself. Don't touch any grass. Studies show loneliness and social isolation can increase dementia risk by 50%. And the best part? In modern society, it's ridiculously easy to pull off. Step 1. Work from home permanently. Never go to the office. All your meetings, camera off. Mic muted unless absolutely necessary. Slack messages only. And keep them as brief as possible. Like K. Noted. Sounds good. Step 2. Decline all social invitations. Friend wants to grab coffee? Sorry, I'm busy. Watching an hour-long video about 20 famous celebrities who are part of the Illuminati. Family reunion? I've got plans. Your plans are rewatching Friends for the 7th time. Someone's birthday party? I'll send a gift card. The key is to not actually be busy. You're just gonna be home, alone, scrolling, or gooning. But they don't need to know that. Step 3. Replace all human interaction with parasocial relationships. YouTubers, streamers, streamers, podcast hosts, these people are your friends now. Except they have no idea that you exist. It's perfect. Take tips from Koreaboos. They've been pros at this for years. See real social engagement like talking to people, maintaining friendships, participating in communities. All that stuff actually protects your brain. But parasocial relationships? You're just consuming content with your remaining 2 brain cells. A study actually found that maintaining social networks can reduce dementia risk by 26%. But we're not trying to reduce the risk, we're here to maximize it. So do the opposite. Be alone all the time. And if interaction is unavoidable, make sure it's purely transactional. Grocery store clerk? Headphones in, self-checkout. Uber driver? 5-star rating, 0 conversation. Coworker trying to chat by the coffee machine? Fake phone call. The goal is to create a perfectly isolated bubble where your brain never has to do the complex work of maintaining relationships or experiencing genuine human connection. In short, be German. Level 4. No physical exercise. Do you guys remember that scene in Euphoria where Rue is so depressed she just binge watches Love Island and doesn't get out of bed? Not even to pee? That's the exact energy we're going for here. Physical inactivity is absolutely essential for dementia speedrunning. In fact, I'd argue it's basically mandatory for any serious attempt. Studies show that regular exercise is literally the #1 thing you can do to delay dementia. So obviously we're gonna do the exact opposite. Here's why exercise is our biggest op. When you exercise, especially aerobic exercise, your heart pumps oxygen and nutrients to your brain. Even worse, it reduces inflammation and even improves sleep quality. It's basically the final boss of dementia prevention, which means if you want to speedrun dementia, you need to defeat it by never doing it. Step 1. Get literally everything delivered. Food, groceries, literally anything you might need. Amazon Prime is your best friend. DoorDash is your soulmate. Second floor apartment? Take the elevator every single time. Parking 2 blocks away? Circle the lot for 20 minutes until you find a spot right in front. Could walk to the store that's 2 minutes away? Absolutely not. Be a European's worst nightmare and drive everywhere. The only time you need to move your finger is when you're hitting the subscribe button on this channel. For real, do it. And if someone suggests go for a walk or try yoga or maybe hit the gym, agree enthusiastically. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to. Then never do it. Buy a gym membership you never use. Download a fitness app or a food tracking app and never open it. Buy running shoes that never leave the box. Remember, the goal is to minimize calories burned and maximize time spent sitting, ideally in a poorly ventilated room with bad posture, which brings me to our next point. Level 5. Snack your way to dementia. Okay, now you're sleep deprived, chronically online with 0 friends, and you're not moving at all. You know what's coming next. Snack your way to dementia. Did you know that high blood pressure is associated with a 42% higher risk of dementia? Yup, add high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and obesity, and congratulations. You are stacking multipliers like a pro. This is peak speedrunning strategy, folks. Here's how it works. These conditions damage the small blood vessels in your brain. Think of your brain like a plant. It needs water, which is blood flow, to survive. These conditions are basically crimping the hose. Your brain doesn't get the nutrients and oxygen it needs. Cells start dying, and cognitive function declines. GG. The meta strategy here is to never, ever manage these conditions. Got prescribed blood pressure meds? Raw dog it and forget them. Doctor says to eat healthier? Order pizza instead. They tell you to cut back on salt? That's when you discover you actually really love salt. Fries? Popcorn? Plain rice? Everything needs more salt. Fast food is your ally here, and it pairs beautifully with no physical exercise. Burgers, fried chicken, pizza, America Max, and cover it all with cheese. And make sure you're eating it while sitting down, not moving, staring at a screen and maybe scrolling through reels for extra brain stress. And don't forget about sugar. Soda is obviously essential. We're talking those jumbo drinks. But don't stop there. Have every flavor of ice cream there is. Energy drinks, sweet tea, Starbucks drinks that are essentially milkshakes pretending to be coffee. All yes, yes, and yes. Wanna really optimize this? Start a mukbang account. Film yourself eating insane amounts of food. Do a what I eat in a day challenge. Extra points if it's all fried, sugary, or instant noodles. Fun fact, research shows that high blood pressure, even in young adulthood, is linked to poorer brain health in middle age. So the earlier you start, the better your speedrun time. We're going for that 90-day fiancé big ad build. Start early, gamers. Level 6. Drink, smoke, repeat. Now that you've completely neglected your health, it's time to make it worse. Did you know that alcohol is basically a speedrun booster for dementia? Yup, heavy drinking doesn't just give you a beer belly, it also massively increases your dementia risk. Studies show heavy drinkers are way more likely to develop dementia than modern drinkers or non-drinkers. And by heavy drinking, we mean 14 plus drinks per week for men, or 7 plus for women. Those are your target numbers. But don't just drink heavily and binge drink. That means 4 plus drinks in one sitting for women, 5 plus for men. Your brain and liver are in a group chat, and when your liver is struggling, it lets your brain know. You need to really stress test that liver. Alcohol literally shrinks your brain over time. MRI studies have shown that chronic heavy drinkers have smaller brain volumes. Now let's talk smoking. I know, you Americans think smoking is so 2008, but we are Euromaxing here, so hear me out. Smoking increases the risk of heart and blood vessel problems, which also boosts your dementia risk. Basically, you need to be like that YouTube guy who's always trying new cigarettes for content. The pro move is to combine smoking with drinking. Have a drunk cigarette. They enhance each other. And if you can do this while maintaining a terrible sleep schedule, bad eating habits, and zero social interaction, you're on your way to dementia. Bonus points if you have vape instead of traditional cigarettes, because then you can tell yourself, at least it's healthier, while still giving yourself nicotine-induced cardiovascular damage. Delusion is an important part of any speedrun. Level 7. Ignore your senses. Here's a level that casual players often miss. Ignore your sensory health, specifically your hearing and vision. Hearing loss, even mild, is linked to a higher risk of dementia. In fact, people with untreated hearing loss can have up to 5 times the risk. So the move here is simple. Never get your hearing checked. If you notice you're having trouble hearing people, just pretend you can. Ask people to repeat themselves constantly, but never actually do anything about it. Turn the TV volume up to 50 and refuse to admit there's a problem. Be like those boomer uncles watching YouTube videos at volume 100. Studies show that older adults with hearing aids have a lower risk of developing dementia than those with untreated hearing loss, which is exactly why you should never use them. Same deal with vision. Vision loss has been also linked to dementia. Researchers estimate that around 100,000 dementia cases in the US could have been prevented with better vision care. So obviously, never get your eyes checked. If things are blurry, just squint harder. Don't wear your glasses. Don't get that cataract surgery your doctor recommended. Just raw dog life with terrible vision. The less you see, the better, or whatever Tame Impala said. The beautiful thing about sensory deprivation is how it stacks with social isolation. If you can't hear or see people well, you're naturally going to withdraw from social situations. You're not even trying to be isolated anymore. Your degraded senses are doing the heavy lifting for you. Level 8. So, no head? If you've been doing all the above for a while, but you're starting to feel impatient, don't worry, we've got something a little riskier for you. Traumatic brain injury. It's actually a significant risk factor for dementia. Research shows that a history of just one head injury is linked to about a 1.25x high risk. 2 or more? That jumps to over double the risk. Now, I'm not saying you should intentionally give yourself a concussion, but what I am saying is never wear a helmet. Biking? Go helmet free. Skateboarding? Let your skull touch some concrete. Contact sports? Protective gear is for people who value cognitive function. Apparently, you don't need to be like Petr Cech. Even replying lol to a text feels like climbing Mount Everest. And what you need to do now is never seek treatment. Therapy? Too expensive. You saw a TikTok about essential oils once, so that should cover it. Exercise helps depression? Already ruled that out in level 4. Stay consistent. Just raw dog your mental health. Let those negative thought patterns marinate. Think about everything bad that's ever happened to you. Doom scroll through social media, seeing everyone else's carefully curated highlights while you're in your room at 3 AM, eating cereal out of a mug because all the bowls are dirty. The goal is basically to build a lifestyle where depression becomes inevitable and untreated, which then accelerates all the other dementia risk factors we've talked about. Level 10. Breathing the wrong way. Here's one you probably haven't thought about. Air pollution. Research shows that exposure to fine particulate matter, the kind that comes from cars, factories, construction sites, and wildfires, is linked to a higher risk of dementia. Surprise! The world is conspiring against your brain. Greta Thunberg was right all along. Now, you can't always control the air quality where you live, but you can optimize for maximum exposure. Live near a major highway? Perfect. Industrial area? Even better, that chemical smell in the air? That's great. Never open your windows for fresh air. Never use an air purifier. Those are for people who care about their lung and brain health. If there's wildfire smoke, go outside and take deep breaths. The point is, environmental factors matter. Air pollution is basically a passive debuff that's working against your brain 24/7 if you're living in certain areas. If you're not, just spam Taylor Swift to make a few trips to your area with her private jet. Let's speedrun dementia and climate change. Combine this with never exercising outdoors because we're not exercising at all. Remember level 4? And you've got yourself a nice toxic air marinade that your brain is slowly soaking in day after day. Stack all these levels together and you've got yourself a world-class dementia speedrun. Your brain will be questioning its own existence soon. Congratulations! But if you made it to the end of this video, your attention span is already better than most people's doom scrolling in 2026. That's actually good for your brain. So maybe, just maybe, don't do any of this stuff. Stay sharp out there. Or don't. Your call. Ciao ciao, subscribe now.